I begin creating an online practice rather than a traditional private practice? That's today's question on Ask Jennifer. Hey there, I am Jennifer Sneeden, founder of Thriving Therapy Practice, and this is Ask Jennifer, where you get my straightforward answers to your most pressing practice building questions. And today's question comes to us from Elizabeth Ramirez Zaragoza, and she says, I am interested in starting my own practice, but I can't lose my income just yet. I think a lot of us can relate to that. I want to start a practice online in order to eliminate overhead. Do you have any recommendations on how to begin this process? So Elizabeth, thank you. I think there are so many people in the same situation as you are right now. Not only does having an online practice eliminate overhead in a lot of cases, it also better serves a lot of clients. There are a lot of clients that are just not best served by this weekly, come and sit on my couch for 45 minutes for 12 weeks or 20 weeks or whatever it is. There are a lot of clients that are better served by a much more non-traditional approach. What I love about online therapy, or whatever form that takes, is that it reaches to these clients that want something that is a little bit different and are best served by people offering a different type of services. So online therapy can be all sorts of different things. It can range from literally doing therapy online via Skype. It can be packages. It can be 30-day programs. It can be online support groups. There's so many different things that it can entail. The first thing, Elizabeth, and anybody who's considering this, you got to do is consult with your attorney, because you do not want to take a chance on getting yourself in trouble, in misserving a client. So make sure there's lots of great attorneys out there that know this process and can help you. Make sure that you find one so that you're setting this up properly. So please, please, please start with that, because that's going to be the most essential. When you want to start an online therapy practice, the first thing you've got to start with is research. When you start in a traditional private practice and then you scale it to an online practice, that's the model most people use, and frankly, that's the model I usually recommend. The reason for that is you are getting direct feedback about what works in your marketing. You can listen to people, you can have the conversations, and you can really get to know what is the message that's going to resonate for them. When you're working specifically and exclusively online, it's more difficult to get that direct feedback about what's working and what doesn't work. So how exactly do you get started? The first thing you want to do is figure out who is the client that you are trying to help. And I get asked this question a lot about your ideal clients, so you'll find lots of resources on my website and lots of Ask Jennifer episodes about the ideal client. That's a big one. You have to start with the ideal client, especially with online therapy, because it's a much more competitive space. The face-to-face psychotherapy world, it's not that competitive. There are a lot of psychotherapists out there, but most of the marketing is just not that good. So it's easy to break out of that competitive space with decent marketing. When you are going online to offer your services, the therapists that are doing that are already excellent marketers. So you've got to make sure that you've got your marketing skills really honed in order to play in that much more competitive space. Where I see people get stuck is if they've done a pretty good job of building their face-to-face practice, but their marketing skills just aren't where they need to be yet, and then they launch into the online space and they're kind of like blown away by what a different game it is. So make sure that your marketing skills are up to speed, exactly where they need to be in terms of crafting your message for your client, really understanding your ideal client. So once you've done those pieces, now you can define your service offerings, and then your service offerings will drive all of the technology. Obviously, when you're doing online therapy, you need to make sure all of the technology pieces are up to place. So essentially, an online practice, basically the core marketing, it's all the same marketing. It's the same marketing that I teach everywhere. It's just got to be done. It's got to be a lot more polished, and it's got to be done at 2 or 3 times as well as if you were doing a face-to-face practice. Who is your ideal client? What is the marketing message that is really going to resonate for them? And then where do I find them online? That's where you want to start, regardless of where your practice is going to be. So thank you so much, Elizabeth, for this question. Congratulations on your new practice. For anybody else who has a question they'd like me to answer on Ask Jennifer, you can click the link that I've provided you, submit your question, and I will consider it for a future episode.